Your personal item is being measured, and the rules are getting tougher. This backpack has been my trusty personal item for years. It's a simple, soft-sided bag, perfect for a weekend trip. It's been on dozens of flights, maybe even 100. It's been tucked under seats on everything from tiny regional jets to massive wide-body planes, and it never once got a second glance from a gate agent. But on my last flight, it cost me nearly $100. Why? What changed so drastically? Because the game has changed. Airlines are getting much stricter with enforcement, turning a once casual process into a rigid one. They are using sizers at the gate more than ever, and they don't care if your bag usually fits. Past success means nothing now. The friendly eyeball from a busy gate agent is becoming a thing of the past. 1 centimeter. That can be the difference between boarding smoothly and paying one of the most expensive baggage fees you'll ever face. What used to be a matter of just getting it on the plane has turned into a high-stakes game of measurements, and most people are losing without even knowing they're playing. The rules haven't just changed, the enforcement has been supercharged, and it's all happening right at the gate. It's happening moments before you board, the most vulnerable point in your journey. It's happening when you have no other choice but to pay up. Picture this. You're in boarding group 7, you've patiently waited, and you're ready to get to your seat. The gate agent scans your pass. The little green light flashes, and instead of a friendly, "Have a nice flight," you get a pointed finger. And you get 4 words you never want to hear. "Please use the sizer." Suddenly, all eyes are on you. The line behind you stops. You know your backpack is a little full, but it's a soft bag. It always squishes down. You push it into the cold metal frame. It doesn't slide in, not easily anyway. You try again, forcing it. The fabric is groaning. The zippers are straining. It's stuck. The agent doesn't even blink. No sympathy, no flexibility. That'll be $90 to check it. That was my reality on a Spirit flight out of Orlando, and it's happening to people every single day across multiple airlines. This isn't just about budget airlines anymore. Major carriers are adopting the same strict policies. It's the new normal. Section: Why airlines are cracking down at the gate. So, what's really going on? We've all felt it. That moment of anxiety as you approach the gate, wondering if your bag will pass muster. Why has a system that often relied on a quick visual check started to feel like a zero-tolerance measurement machine? It boils down to 3 things: technology, congestion, and revenue. First, the tech. While not at every gate, some airports and airlines are rolling out new technologies to speed up operations. These technologies include automated bag sizers. These systems use cameras and sensors to measure a bag's dimensions instantly. They don't negotiate. They don't have sympathy for a bulging pocket. They provide a simple binary result: pass or fail. If the system flags your bag, the agent is often required to enforce the rule. The human element of discretion is being taken out of the equation in some places. This isn't science fiction. This tech is being tested and deployed in major hubs right now. Second, overhead bin space has become the most valuable real estate on a plane. As more of us try to avoid checked bag fees, those bins are filling up faster than ever. This chaos can delay boarding. This in turn delays takeoffs. This costs airlines a fortune in fuel, crew time, and network disruptions. Enforcing the personal item size, which must fit under the seat in front of you, is their main strategy to protect that precious overhead space for actual carry-on bags. They are drawing a hard line. If it's a personal item, it goes under the seat. If it can't fit there, it's a carry-on. And if you didn't pay for one, you're paying a premium at the gate. Finally, and let's be honest, it's about money. This isn't just about efficiency, it's about ancillary revenue. Gate check fees are a goldmine for airlines. A check bag might cost you $35 or $40 if you pay online, but that same bag can cost a lot more if you're forced to check it at the gate. We're talking double, sometimes even more. Budget carriers like Spirit and Frontier have built their business model on this. They have fees that can approach $100. Now, major carriers are seeing the financial upside of stricter enforcement too. They've realized that our habit of overstuffing personal items, combined with strict last-minute enforcement, creates a very predictable stream of revenue. It's a calculated strategy that turns a common passenger habit into a consistent profit center. This was my downfall. For a long time, I thought I had the system beat. I was a master of the personal item, or so I thought. And it's the most common trap. For years, we've relied on the squish factor. We bought soft-sided backpacks and duffel bags thinking we could stuff them silly and they'd still compress under the seat. It was a game, and for a while, we were winning. That grace period is shrinking. Airlines are cracking down, and the wiggle room we once enjoyed is disappearing fast. The rule is about the total dimensions, including handles, wheels, and any bulging pockets. It's not about the bag's intended size, but its actual size at that very moment. When that gate agent points you to the metal sizer, they are checking the bag at its largest points. They're not going to help you squish it in. That front pocket you stuffed with a charger and a snack? It just added an inch to your bag's depth, and that inch can cost you. Here's what you need to know. The landscape of personal item rules is a minefield, but you can navigate it safely if you're prepared. There is no single standard for a personal item. This is mistake number one, assuming one airline's rules apply to another. It varies by airline. Spirit and Frontier are known for their strict enforcement. They generally use an 18x 14x 8-inch sizer. Their basic fares only include a personal item. This is their business model. So they check it religiously. If your bag doesn't fit, you're paying for a carry-on. There are no exceptions and no second chances. And the fee at the gate is the highest it can be, often close to $100. That's more than the flight itself sometimes. American's policy also lists an 18x14x 8-inch dimension for a personal item. While enforcement can vary by airport, agents are using sizers more often. This is especially true when overhead space is running low. They'll start checking personal items to force more bags into the hold. United is where many travelers get caught. Their personal item limit is smaller at 17x10x 9 inches. That 10-inch width is much narrower than a standard backpack. A standard backpack can easily be 12 or 13 inches wide. Even when it's not overstuffed, its basic design might be too wide for United's sizer. It's a dimension that seems designed to catch casual bags. Delta is different. They don't publish exact dimensions for personal items. Their rule is simply that it must fit under the seat in front of you. While this sounds flexible, they give guidance suggesting a size around 17x 13x 9 inches to be safe, and they still ensure it actually fits. If a gate agent thinks it looks too big, they can and will ask you to prove it fits. The only way to be sure is to measure your bag at home after it's packed. This is the single most important step you can take. Use a tape measure, don't just eyeball it, and check the length, width, and depth at its most bloated points. Don't trust the manufacturer's tag. This is mistake number 2. That's for an empty bag. It's a theoretical measurement, not a practical one. Pack it, zip it, and then measure. If you're even a half-inch over on any dimension, you're taking a risk. A risk that could cost you $100 and a lot of stress. You'd think a soft backpack is safer than a hard-sided case. But these days, it's often the opposite. A hard shell bag has fixed dimensions. It can't be overstuffed into non-compliance. Soft bags invite overpacking. This is mistake number 3. We see empty space, and we fill it. It's human nature. That one last thing mentality is what turns a compliant bag into an oversized one. The real issue is the front pocket phenomenon. Most backpacks have that handy outer pocket. But when you stuff it with a bulky power bank or a thick book, you are fundamentally changing the bag's depth. The sizer doesn't care that the main compartment is half empty. It only cares about the bag's total physical footprint. A bag that looks like it has a belly is an immediate red flag for gate agents. It's a visual cue that screams, "Check me." And it's not just pockets. This brings us to mistake number 4, external attachments. Clipping a travel pillow to the outside of your bag can get you flagged. Technically, it's a separate item. Dangling straps or a water bottle in a side pouch that can't be compressed, all of these add to the overall size, and they give a gate agent a reason to pull you aside. Adopt a pack-flat mentality. Anything in your outer pockets should be slim, like papers or a thin wallet. Move bulky items like chargers to the center of your bag's main compartment. Surround them with soft clothes. This not only protects them, but also helps maintain a consistent shape. This keeps the bag's shape uniform. Before you approach the gate, do a final check. This is mistake number 5, looking unprepared. Cinch your compression straps, tuck in loose handles, and remove your water bottle. Drink it or put it inside the bag. Make your bag look as sleek and compact as possible. Perception matters. The less attention you draw, the better. Walk up with confidence, looking like a seasoned traveler who knows the rules. If these tips are already making you rethink how you pack, do me a favor and hit that like button. It really helps the channel, and it tells YouTube this is information other travelers need to see. And if you want to keep saving money and avoiding travel stress, make sure you're subscribed. I post videos like this every week. In the US, we're obsessed with size, but we rarely think about weight for cabin baggage. Most domestic carriers don't weigh personal items or carry-ons. The moment you fly internationally, however, the game changes completely. And this catches so many American travelers by surprise. Many international airlines, especially in Europe and Asia, have strict weight limits for your total cabin baggage. This means they might weigh your carry-on and your personal item together. That combined weight is often capped at a surprisingly low number. It's typically between 7 and 10 kilograms. This is roughly 15 to 22 pounds. Think about that. A 15-inch laptop and its charger can weigh 5 pounds. A standard rolling carry-on can weigh 8 pounds empty. Add a change of clothes and a pair of shoes, and you can easily exceed the weight limit before you've even packed your personal item. Airlines like Lufthansa, Emirates, and KLM are known for enforcing this at check-in or the gate. You'll be asked to place both bags on the scale, and if you're over, you'll be forced to check one for a hefty fee. If you have an international flight, you must pack according to the strictest airlines rules in your itinerary. Before you pack, buy a simple digital luggage scale. They're cheap, and they are one of the best investments a traveler can make. Weigh your empty bags to know your starting point. As you pack, prioritize lightweight clothing and electronics. And here's the classic travel hack for a reason. Wear your heaviest items, your hiking boots, your bulkiest jacket. Wear them on the plane. It might feel a bit bulky, but it can be the difference between a free cabin bag and a 100+ checked bag fee. Basic economy fares are tempting. They look so much cheaper in the search results. But these days, choosing basic economy is one of the riskiest gambles you can take with your luggage. Here's the trap. On many airlines, a basic economy ticket only includes a personal item. You do not get a full-sized carry-on for the overhead bin. This is true for United's domestic flights. If you show up at the gate with a regular carry-on, the fee isn't just the standard checked bag fee, it's a gate check fee plus a penalty. It can be incredibly expensive. This is where strict personal item enforcement becomes a weapon. Airlines know that basic economy passengers will try to push the limits of their single bag. So, gate agents are often trained to scrutinize these passengers. If you're holding a basic economy boarding pass, you are far more likely to be stopped and asked to use the sizer. Plus, with a basic economy ticket, you're almost always in the last boarding group. By the time you get on the plane, any remaining overhead bin space is long gone. Even if a sympathetic agent wanted to let your slightly oversized bag slide, there's simply nowhere to put it. Your only option is a forced gate check. Read the fine print before you book. If you choose basic economy, you must commit to packing only within that airline's personal item dimensions. There is no wiggle room. Use a bag you know for a fact is compliant. If you have any doubt you can fit everything you need, pay to check a bag online ahead of time. It will always be cheaper than getting hit with a penalty at the gate. Never assume you can talk your way out of it with a basic economy ticket. There's one last area of confusion that leads to frustrating confrontations at the gate. It's about what you can bring on board in addition to your personal item. Most airlines allow a few freebie items that don't count towards your allowance. These typically include a coat, a small umbrella, food bought in the terminal, and a pillow or neck pillow. Critically, this also includes essential medical devices and child-related items like a diaper bag. The mistake happens when people interpret this too broadly. That giant, fluffy blanket in a plastic bag? That's a bag. That shopping bag from the duty-free shop that's filled to the brim. Technically, that might be allowed. But if it's huge and you're struggling to carry it with your other bags, you're drawing unwanted attention. An agent having a bad day might see you as someone trying to bring on 3 items and decide to be strict. The most common point of conflict is the neck pillow. If it's just the pillow itself, you can carry it or have it around your neck, but many people now use pillows that pack into a small pouch. That pouch is, technically, a bag. A strict agent could count that as your third item and force you to consolidate. Be smart and be discreet. If you have a coat, wear it. Don't carry it over your arm where it looks like another piece of luggage. Take your neck pillow out of its bag before you get to the gate. Put any books inside your personal item. Your goal is to approach the gate looking like you have one carry-on for the overhead bin and one personal item for under your seat. Make it easy for the gate agent to say yes. Don't walk up looking like you're moving house. Consolidate everything you can before you get in the boarding line. The days of gaming the system with a slightly overstuffed backpack are fading. Flying now requires precision. The airlines have created a system where assuming you'll be fine can lead directly to fees. But knowledge is your best defense. It boils down to this. First, know the exact personal item dimensions for your airline and measure your packed bag. Don't guess. Second, pack for the sizer, not just the under-seat space. Avoid those bulging pockets that are a magnet for scrutiny. Third, if you're flying internationally, weigh everything. That 10-kilogram limit is real and it's enforced. Finally, understand your ticket. A basic economy fare means you play by their most restrictive rules, no exceptions. My $100 mistake was frustrating, but it was a lesson. It taught me that the convenience of trying to carry everything on is no longer worth the risk. The stress of that moment at the gate, the public bag of shame sizer test, and the sting of that unexpected fee, it's just not worth it. By being prepared, by being precise, and by packing smart, you can walk past those sizers with confidence. You can be the traveler who boards smoothly while others are frantically pulling out their credit cards. You can fly without the fear of that four-word sentence. Please use the sizer. Travel smart and don't let 1 centimeter ruin your trip. What's the worst or most ridiculous baggage fee you've ever had to pay? Share your story in the comments below. Let's help each other learn from these costly mistakes. And for my next video, I'm going to break down checked bag rules that are virtually guaranteed so you're not caught at the gate. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it.